Oh, we're ready. You can click on the screen, the link, and see it, which is kind of
Uh-oh.
cool.
Being live scares me. What if I mess up?
Oh, I can hear it. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ellis is here too. And we're still waiting on Graham.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's streaming. I did this on Sunday, and it was fantastic.
Let me put up my other screen. Where do I click?
Um, you can just click the link that we tweeted.
Ah, okay, that works. Pull it up. I downloaded something called Power Toys today from
Mm-hmm.
recommendation of one of my training buddies, and it makes my life so much easier.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so you can like better optimize like your desktop space. So, and I was talking to one of my buddies, and he told me that I have to turn all my monitors to the side.
Huh.
So here we are.
Here we are. Hmm. Well, I'm so glad to hear that you had your best day ever. I had a negative um
Yeah,
$500
but you came
day.
back big,
Big.
like real big.
I got it down to negative 50 and really thought I could go green, but I was willing to like my once I got it up that high, I was like, I'm okay being red $150. That would be like my max
Yeah.
kind of loss or whatever. And so I couldn't get it green. But should I have stopped at 50? Perhaps.
Nope. Sometimes you just gotta kind of fight it out, you know.
I felt like I was really in the zone.
Yeah. I mean, you've been absolutely crushing it, so
Thanks.
I can't believe you came back. How
I
good does it feel though to be like in a hole and then come back to like, okay, I can deal with this.
so good. So good.
Yeah, that's like one of the best feelings in the world from going from really red to like slightly red, and you're like, I'll make that all back tomorrow, just a distant memory. And you don't seem
Yeah.
that rattled. Normally, when you have a red day, you're a little rattled.
No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Feeling good?
great.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good.
That's what it's all
We
about.
also have a lot of good things going on with the podcast. A lot of good things.
Oh yeah, all sorts of excitement. I think you.
Yep.
I think when did you call me? You called me one day and I was half awake. I remember. Oh, does Graham know that we're on East Coast time?
I hope so. Um, I'll I think I said. Yeah, I told him Eastern.
Okay, I'm not super worried. It's only 5 minutes, but it's been definitely been a crazy. A lot of stuff's happened to me too. A lot of good things are happening. I feel like changing
Like
weather.
at your job or
No, I just been getting a lot of cool opportunities just from like Twitter, honestly.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Oh, well, we talked about the opportunity you got from one of our guests.
Yeah, so I interviewed with him yesterday, but unfortunately I had to turn it down just because, I can't. I don't like the pressure of having to almost work for someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to trading, I think it's really important that people, work for themselves. Like I want to answer to myself when I have a bad day, not other people. So,
Totally.
and sure enough, the next day I absolutely crush it. Like, like 250% on spy calls overnight with big size. A lot of penny scalps today. I mean, we were really in the zone. So
I had no idea that you had been struggling at all this year.
everyone's been struggling. Yeah. No, it
Well,
hasn't been all
you.
sunshine and roses, but we took like a pretty sizable loss in January. So we just kind of stopped on that account, and then switched over to the cash account to
Oh
kind of limit
no.
myself. And then
I'm not. Um, he thought it was Pacific time.
Ah, figures. So was that 8:30?
Yeah. Well, anyway, we have some people watching. Do you guys want to
Uh-oh.
ask? Do you guys want to ask me any questions about Apple? If you want to, I could answer them. Sorry about that. I'm
We
just
can hold off.
yeah. Kind of
So what,
wish I had
reconvene
it.
at like 8:30?
Actually, while I have you, I have a question for you. Should we go ahead and record that?
Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
we can hit the questions. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of interesting ones. I feel like.
Um, questions. Ellis. Contracts. Ooh, sorry. Contract selection for options is grossly under-discussed on Twitter and education circles. I've been in many paid rooms. Can you elaborate more on what you typically play or what got you over PDT via options? There was an episode you mentioned full porting options in past 250K. Does it break down by the day? Example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 0 DTEs, and Thursday and Friday next week expiry. OTM, ATM, ITM. I have an account under 10K and typically take a few days out in nearest round dollar OTM. AKA SPY is at 451 and I take calls 5 days out and at 455. Basically, give us your take on content selection. Basically, give us your take on contract selection. My goal is to consistently make money and get over PDT and maintain. I basically exclusively trade large cap options in sub 10K cash account.
Okay, so first let's start off. I don't think I ever made a quarter mil on an options trade. It'd be nice.
Well,
um,
maybe it got you over PDT.
yeah. Well, no, I still rock a cash account now. My options account's largely cash. Just
Oh.
because there's no real reason. Because options are settled the next day on Webull, so you can trade all your money and the next day you have it all back. As far as contract selection, I think that's what kind of scares people from options because you open the chain, there's like 3,000 options that you can pick from. And my strategy is really simple. I pick the highest open interest, the tightest spreads, and the most volume. That's it. So a lot of times it's going to be like round numbers. So for example, today, well, actually, we'll use the example to give. So SPY's at 451. The 455s are going to have the highest OI. They're going to be the most liquid. They're going to have a tight spread, right? Because you want to be able to market buy in, market buy out. You want to be quick on the trigger. You don't want to have to deal with like a $50 spread because on a bad fill, there goes $50 worth of profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always pick the highest OI. And as far as my strategy, I can tell they listened because yeah, Monday through Wednesday, you can pick the Friday expiration ones.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, I call it Theta Kill Wednesday because I feel like every Wednesday I buy a weekly, the options just don't move. Then
Interesting.
when you come to like the Thursday, Friday, you don't want to take the lottos. Actually, I had a mentor tell me one time when you go through all your lotto trades, like your Friday 0 day expirations, see how many of them actually made you money. I would say a large part of people just don't make money on those lottos, right? You see the big gains, but they actually don't make any money. And now, as far as
Interesting.
a small account under 10K, I actually recommend people if they're going to trade options to have at least 5K, so you're double the minimum, and you want to keep your risk really really small. So what I used to do is I'd only take a position that was 5% of my account. So with 20% stop loss, you're only going to lose 1% of your account. You're not going to have a total absolute meltdown blow up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my rule of thumb when it comes to it. I just think and then also getting out of PDT, I think everyone thinks PDT is this magical number, but I've heard more stories of people getting out of PDT and then getting absolutely smoked because now they have unlimited money and unlimited trades. So I think,
Yes.
focus on like the 1 to 2% a day. A lot of times, if I'm green by like 11 o'clock, I just walk away because when you're up pretty big in the morning, you start to get a little sloppy in the afternoon, and then you wind up giving a lot back. But to sum it up, don't stress on PDT. It's just a number, right? Because it doesn't matter if you have a 100K account or a 1K account. Risk management is still the same. Contracts are still the same. It's all the same. Just I know a lot of people. Like I remember the first time I took a really really large position. Like I didn't sleep, and
Yeah.
you don't want to be like that. You want to have like even like I see people on Twitter have like 100 200% account triple days. I don't do that. I just think it's unnecessary. It's just way too much risk for me. I like to sleep well at night. I don't want to wake up down and my account's down 25% because I've been there from taking too much size. But
Yeah.
Cliff
So
Notes. Oh, go on.
we just recently did an episode on spreads, and that's a little bit confusing to me because I always take just the at the money contracts. I never take anything like deeply in the money, deeply out of the money, lottos, anything like that. And I think that's mostly just lack of understanding on my part.
Yeah, but at the monies are good. Like especially
Yep.
when VIX right now is below 20, taking at the money because once you get into money, that delta's gonna come in. It's gonna bump you up, and you're
Yeah.
gonna start making better money. Now, as
Yeah.
far as spreads, spreads are really good on Robinhood. They're real. I do something called the ghetto spread when I used to do small account challenges, and basically it's you're buying a contract under PDT, and let's say you buy like a SPY call, right? It's up 100%. What
Mm-hmm.
you do is you sell a contract against it, so you automatically lock in your profit by collecting that premium, and it doesn't count as a day trade. I
Oh,
used to love
interesting.
spreads. I used to trade a lot of butterflies. My mentor taught me on butterflies. That's what we used to trade. They're kind of hard to do it because if you don't price it right, but you can make good money on it. And if you're on a cash account, you can't do spreads, which
Yeah.
makes no sense because spreads are quote unquote safer than, let's say, a naked call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty much the basics. I think just people get way too tripped up on what contracts to buy or anything like that. If you're like, for example, you're always trading Apple, you can take at the money calls because they're only going to be like 150, $200 a contract,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Like today, you're probably paying $100 a contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They
you're
were
at the
super
money.
cheap today.
Yeah, super cheap. VIX is down now. Earlier this year when we had a 35 VIX, you're paying $500 for an at the money spy call that expires in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now you have to think to yourself when you see contracts that expensive, like, do you really think it's a good idea to buy that? I'm gonna tell you.
Oop, the dogs. The dogs.
It's okay.
Um, a lot of people ask me about my Apple trade today, and since I have you, I think I was gonna share my screen. Sorry, my kids are home, and show you where I took the calls, just because people wanted to know. Um,
I can tell you probably when it was. Was it at open? Probably like half hour in.
Here, I'm gonna share and show you if I
Okay.
can figure out how to do it. If I can,
Uh,
surely I can figure it out. Share. Nope, not there.
that's probably the most common questions I get when it comes to that. And also, never full port options. Okay. I know. I hopefully my sarcasm comes across, but you don't want to do that. All right, it's loaded.
All right. You can. This doesn't show you my. It shows my username. Is this? I've asked a lot of people, and they said this is on private mode.
Yeah, it is on private mode from what I see.
But why does it show my username?
That's not your username. I think that's a nickname of your account.
I'll change that after this. um. All right. So I was trading. Let me see if I can just make this bigger. So I was trading it earlier today and got super chopped up. I think my losses were, I think I kept taking puts in the morning because it just felt kind of weak to me,
Okay.
which wasn't very smart. And then let's see, I took April 22nd call 180 calls, and I took those at 950. Okay. So
So 20 minutes in. So it's a 10-minute chart, right? No, it's a 1 minute.
Oh no. Oh no. I'll get better at this. Am I on a 1 minute chart?
Looks like it. Says at the top 1 minute. Look at your thinkorswim. Ah, you're really up there.
I'm really doing some stuff. All right. So,
Well, okay, so what do you trade on? That's the 5 minute?
I go between the 5 and the 1 and the 15.
Okay.
All right. So 9.
Hold on, you have to make that a little
50.
bigger.
Okay. So I took calls here. So
I'll
that
make
was
your screen
not.
bigger. Can't really see it. Just hit the maximize button on top.
I can't because then the time goes away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That works.
All right. So 9:50, I took calls right there when it broke that level. That was not a good place to take calls. And then I ended up selling them, more down here. Then I
Well,
decided.
what was your thinking while you're looking at that? So what was your kind of your thought process, right? So walk me through like what you were thinking in that moment when you saw it.
Okay. So I have all these levels here on the 4-hour chart. And I think this is where, when it broke this level on this 4-hour candle, I thought that would become a new support.
Okay.
Yeah. And like if you look, that thesis wasn't wrong because here later in the day it did become a new support.
Yeah, no, your thesis
I was just
wasn't wrong.
like early on it.
Exactly.
Then I took puts, which is
Well, hold on, let's review that first trade here. Zoom in a little bit. And I'll kind of tell you. So what I've been studying a lot recently is kind of candle patterns, right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a strap. But you see those long wicks from the top?
Yeah.
That are coming down? All sellers.
Yep.
So it looks like 950 would be 20 minutes in. So you had a little bit of bull flag forming on that 5 minute. Then you had a huge shot up, and immediately it's met by sellers.
Yes, and I saw that was flagging too.
Okay.
So then bought it on this candle here.
Okay. Now, were you watching SPY at the time too, and the big fake out at open?
Yep.
Yep. So that's what happened to a lot of people this morning. Is they got really faked out. That 461 level was very, very key. And it rejected right off it, so it's gonna bring everything else down with it.
Yeah, and I also was watching VIX. So here are my, here's my screen. So I've got SPY, which was, anyway, everything traded like exactly the same. But I was also looking at VIX, and right here I thought that it was going to reverse and come down, which it didn't. Then VIX flagged, and everything else failed the flag.
Yeah, it looks like honestly a chop up. I don't think see me looking at that, it looks like a flag to me. But you see that long wick, I'd have been like, okay. I would just stopped out right there and just kind of waited.
Yeah, I should have. But as I said on Twitter, I got a phone call that was just some bad news, and
You weren't focused.
Yep. And so that call came like right here, and I just wasn't like, I could have taken profits here, right?
Yeah.
But I just wasn't focused. Then I had another bad trade when I took puts at 10:43. Let's see where that is. Like right there. I had puts because I thought it could hold under this level that I have drawn.
Okay.
It didn't. So then I lost on that trade too. And basically, like, it was just trading in this little channel. So it was just choppy. It wasn't that like my idea was bad as much as just it wasn't doing what I thought that it would do. And then my good trade I took right at noon. I took it right there.
Wow.
That's
a pretty solid entry.
Right, and then wrote it all right there. But I had this whole wave thing. So as soon as this 5 minute was breaking above and holding on this whole wave, I grabbed it and then traded it. I think I took it, sold some, re-added when this resistance became support, and
Yep.
then sold it up into here.
Yeah, and you made back your losses too. And this
Yeah.
looks like you got chopped up. I don't see like any like really big quote unquote mistakes.
Mhm.
I don't see anything detrimental, and you have to put it in perspective, right? You've been crushing the challenge. You went from a pretty big red day to just like a small red day.
Well, and all throughout the challenge, I've been taking like 3 contracts. Then I moved up to 5 contracts. And
Yep.
then today I had 7. So the losses they're just going to be bigger. It's not necessarily that I trade, like, honestly,
Oh, so you sized up today too?
I sized up today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, honestly, like, I managed that risk there when the call went against me. Like, that was fairly good risk management. I didn't,
I think so too.
it could have closed below here and I could have just gotten absolutely screwed, but I knew that there was some good support there. Like, I really feel fine with that. And then even the taking of the puts here, when that went against me, I sold right here. Like, it
Yep.
all felt in control.
Absolutely. And it also looks like you have a system too, and it's measured out as well.
Yep. Look
No,
at this side, all these levels. Sometimes I just have to take, like, every other day or every couple of days, I just have to take those off because it's too many.
you have
But,
no idea.
if you have a ton of them that are like right there, it sort of makes me be like, okay, now this is really important because there's so many right there together.
It's like when we talk to Palmer, right? He always talks about those levels of like confluence, where there's a bunch of the same stock is bounced off the same level hundreds of times. It's clearly important,
Yep.
right? We also call them fib clusters too, if you're a Fibonacci person.
Which I'm not, but God, this
Nothing
was
wrong
a
with
good
that.
entry.
No, that's absolutely perfect. Now you just got to
So,
repeat that 3 million times, and we'll be flying on your private jet and partying on yachts.
this is such a Rodessa trade, too, of like, Rodessa loves when something's in a channel and then breaks
Yep.
the top of that channel right there. So, like, grabbing it right at the bottom of the channel for the break. You could have just exited right there, but I did. I just scaled and re-added.
You know, it's funny. I was actually when you were showing me the trade, it made me think of Maple Stacks. Now he uses the term "wicked out." You ever
Oh,
heard him talk about that? That's what
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
got wicked out.
Yep.
It's a day you sized up.
Usually Apple's like fairly decisive in the first like, you can usually count on Apple at 9:45 to be showing you where it wants to go, or
Yep.
it'll top out and you can grab puts and sort of ride it back down, which is
Hmm.
maybe what I should have done. But I like
Well, that's
taking a
also a factor of the
play.
market, right?
Yeah.
One thing I stress is kind of that 9:45, 10 a.m. Eastern trend change. It's been very,
Mhm.
very like repeatable process.
Yep.
But yeah, I know a lot of people who got chopped out this morning. You're not the only one.
Well, good. That's great. So we have 2 questions on. Ooh, we have several questions on the live stream. Do you have anywhere to be or
No, I'm chilling today.
no?
Yeah, no. You texted me,
Okay.
hey, let's get after it. I was like, cool, I'm down.
All right. So Jimmy M asked, "Do we keep going up on Apple?" And to answer that, I'm just going to point out that chart right there. Like, have you just ever seen anything like more trendy in your life? It's just like riding that 9, dipped
Yep.
here to the 20. I mean, that's like the most bullish chart I've ever seen. So my answer would be that until the chart shows me something that makes me not bullish, like, now I love playing puts. It's for sure. I mean, I love playing puts, but you got to play the flag. But this just keeps like flagging and flagging. So yeah, Jimmy, I think we keep going up. My opinion. Ellis, what do
we're
you
uh
think?
we're $3 from all time high, I think, on Apple. As far as market, yeah, I addressed this on Twitter about window dressing when all these guys and are trying to like short and do all this. I'm like, just it's just not happening. So
Yeah.
what they're doing right now, these hedge funds, just to kind of explain what window dressing is a lot of them got smoked Q1, right? So between January and April. So they're
Mhm.
just going to boost the numbers. You look at the volume, they're just going to make the numbers look a little bit. So, we're not in a bear market, everything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then when your tax bill comes around in about 2 weeks, yeah, they're gonna sell everything from this rally, and we're probably gonna go down for about a week or two. It's kind of how it
Perfect.
works.
Yep.
Yeah. So just watch that key level on VIX, which is 20. That'll be your pivot for kind of your short buys or your long buys. Like yesterday, I bought a lot, just because I saw
Uh-huh.
what was it, the 20 pivot break, and I was like, okay, we're gonna rip tomorrow. Gapped up a percent, and here we are. Uh oh.
Um, cool. Do you think that the market's going to hold? Do you think that was the bottom here at this 148? Do you think that's the bottom for a while?
As far as Apple's concerned,
Yeah.
probably.
Or just the market. Aren't they like kind of similar, one and the same?
Yeah, they're pretty much one and the same. I do think that 420 area is going to be revisited at some point. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
when. If you know anything about fundamentals and the yield curves and everything like that, everything's pointing to a recession. May not be, today or tomorrow, but everything's pointing to a recession in the market. And I have a lot of friends who are graduating school soon and we're looking for career switches. And I'm telling everyone now to switch because in 12 months from now to 18 months, you're not going to have any power anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be layoffs, everything like that. So that's what I see in the market now. Trading in a recession, we're still gonna have penny rippers. We're still gonna be doing the same stuff every single day, so it doesn't really affect me in that regards. But it's just something to keep in the back of your head. I spent probably 4 hours yesterday talking to trading buddies on the phone, just kind of getting a grasp of what they're seeing in the market, what I'm seeing, and just kind of gathering as much intel as I can. But for now, it's bull gang. Uh, Now I will be
Cool.
going short probably on my birthday. I'll buy some
Okay.
puts for my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yep. I've heard that the market likes to turn around this time of year and is not great. Who knows?
Yeah, it's all the seasonality of the markets, right? So people need
Mm-hmm.
cash to pay their tax bills, everything like that. So if you don't have an accountant, make sure you get one because you can save yourself a lot of money if you know what you're doing. You can also DM me on Twitter too. I can send you some resources you can use for write-offs and stuff like that. So
Cool.
give them the proper treatment.
Yep.
I won't do your taxes though.
All right, here's some more. Hi, Penny. Can you explain your Apple strategy, such as what you see to enter and exit? We kind of went over that just based on what I saw today. I really do like playing this 4 hour chart here. I just basically base the entries off of these candles. And I think, Ellis, you can maybe answer this. I'm not totally sure what's more important between the bodies and the wicks of these 4 hour candles. So I mark both. And I think both are useful. How do you find your levels?
My levels, support and resistance, pretty much exactly what you have, right? Key areas just depends what time frame you use. I mainly use the daily chart, as I find the 4 hour is sometimes a little clunky, especially with
Mm-hmm.
after hours and everything like that. But yeah, same as you. So support resistance is 3 touches of a wick or a body, right? A lot of
Oh,
people, for you, it
cool.
seems like you almost have where it opened and where it closed based on your levels.
Uh-huh.
So we're like high of the day and low of the day. It kind of seems like
Mm-hmm.
that's what you have marked too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, support
Um,
resistance, 3 touches. Trend lines, 3 touches. I see some funky charts on Twitter, and I'm like, that's not right.
so this right where this pencil is, that's a support, right? There because there's
Yeah.
3 touches right there.
Yep. 3 touches.
Cool.
That's the golden rule. And if
Oh,
it's five
there's
touches,
3 there.
yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? They're everywhere. Who knew?
No, and that's funny that you say that because a lot of people don't really get that concept. And when I heard that, I'm like, it's 3 touches. And that's been my rule since I learned technical analysis. So
Cool. Very cool.
even like
All right.
1 minute, everything,
All
everything.
right. Next question. Penny, that Apple entry is also where Apple went to last week and you got caught in HTE weekly buyers. I don't know what does HTE mean? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard a term before.
Got caught up in. Okay, sorry. Oh, wait. Excuse me, I meant outside the month. The Apple entry is also where Apple went. to, oh, Penny. Here, we'll try. I don't know what that question means. So, Penny, do you always buy 3-week out option expiries for day trading, not same weeks? No, I don't. I buy same weeks, which is not the wisest thing to do. I try to do next week after Wednesday, but I don't always do that. But I also came from trading penny stocks, so I understand high volatility and risk.
And you're also doing intraday scalps, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
you're not holding like overnight. You're not doing anything like that. You're all cash by the end of the day. So
yeah. I'm not a swing trader.
no, and you
Certain,
can't
no,
swing
no.
this market because you could wake up and who knows what could happen.
Who knows? All right. Let me see. There, I think there might be some questions on Twitter. Um,
It is exciting though to see. I think a lot more people are coming back into the market after
yeah.
January and stuff like that. Uh, me and my going crazy. Like it's been a lot of fun, and it's good to see that a lot of like the setups, a lot of incredible Bob calls, frying pan bottoms, everything like that. So, but
So
still here in
my
option land.
my tweet today said that I got really frustrated because I was in MTA this morning and I heard, so the news on HOOD today was that it is extending its trading hours. And
Hell
that's the,
yeah!
yeah, up to 7 a.m., I think. So that's the biggest good news to come out of HOOD in a
Ever.
very, very long time. So I was like, God, if I wasn't in this Apple trade or this Apple challenge, I would totally trade HOOD right now. So I called it out on the floor in MTA, and I mean, look at this opening.
Well, look at the
Even on
4-hour on the
I
left.
mean, it's just incredible. And I was so mad that I couldn't trade it that I just was like, I'm here in this stupid choppy Apple and I could be trading HOOD today. Look at that open.
Yep.
I mean, and then it did just like a gorgeous. Look at that! Look at that flag, and then it just. Oh, what a lovely, perfect trade! I was so mad about it. And I think I just got, I just wasn't really sticking to my plan.
Yeah, but look at that 4-hour though. You think it's gonna go up tomorrow too?
It looks like it got real tight there. You know what I mean?
Do you have supply and demand drawn on that?
Yeah.
Wow,
These
look at
are.
you.
I know these are the Jimmy Momo levels, or
Ah,
Jimmy
very
Momo
nice.
supply and demand. You know, Apple today was in. There was a lot of supply and demand zones on Apple, which I think was keeping it from moving as well as it should. Like all of this that we had to get through. Ugh.
Yeah, just a lot of blah.
Bleh.
Grossness,
Is
we call it.
this so this I didn't I assumed like once it broke out over here, actually I thought there would be a much bigger breakout right when it got over that. Um so I was wrong, but it did
Yeah, well, look where it
eventually.
rejected.
Yep.
Right at the previous high, it made it open. Right off that morning wick candle.
Yep.
No, I mean, not exactly, but it's pretty close. So it came down, retested. Kind of, it was probably overextended. Probably went on a huge rip. I wonder if I can pull up my.
I think this is what Shark calls BRB. Break, retest, breakout. That's I
Yep.
don't know for sure, but that sure as heck looks like it.
That's what it looks like on mine.
Okay.
I'm gonna see using my system. Yeah, it
Okay,
literally looks like
wait,
you had a.
here's some more. Why am I only trading Apple? Is this the most effective for Apple only as compared to the other large caps? So I'm only trading Apple because the options are liquid and it is an easy stock to trade, which I didn't really understand what that meant, but I'll show you now that I'm just deeply into Apple and how it does. So basically, if you have SPY, QQQ, and VIX pulled up, and then Apple below it, it's just unbelievable how much it mirrors those charts, and not only like mirrors the charts, but it because Apple is such a huge component of QQQ and Spy, it will all it's like they're linked. So sometimes if Spy is breaking out, that's really my favorite thing. So if Spy is breaking out, it'll break out just a little bit before Apple, but like it's a big component. So then Apple will also want to break out, and then same thing, vice versa, because Apple can pull down Spy in the queues. So it just gives you as Ellis was saying, a lot more confluence for your trades.
It's
And
just
then
a, it's
it
like
also
30% of Spy. I'm pretty sure it's up there in percentage. Like,
yeah, it also trades really well, I think, with Microsoft. They do kind of
yep.
similar type stuff. So, is I look at all of these. I only have Lucid there because that's my baby. Had a heck of a day today. Um, but I don't trade Lucid anymore. But anyway, it's literally sort of like Apple options trading with bumper lanes.
Yep. It also moves slower too, and the contracts. I mean, there's like 100 KOI in each one. The spreads are like 3 cents.
Yeah.
It's definitely if you can master one stock, why trade anything else? Like, I trade Nvidia. I normally don't trade AMD because it just doesn't like me. But Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft hates me. Lucid's a good one. So you start to learn the personality, and you can kind of just stick to it. Like, I have an options list called Options Rippers, and it's like 6 stocks on there, and that's the same 6 stocks I pull up every single morning, and that's kind of what I look for setups.
Cool. Another question that usually never happens on Hood. Hood is up because news hit and they are offering pre-market trading. Yep, exactly.
Yep. It
Yep.
should go
But
tomorrow. I'd be surprised if it didn't.
you know what? I like to think that. Are you a big Harry Potter fan, Ellis?
Harry Potter terrified me as a child. Gave me
Okay.
nightmares.
Well, um, so I like to think of it as like Harry Potter. The Quidditch ball has memories baked into it of the last person who held it, or a game it won, or whatever. It holds those memories, and I think that there are some stocks like that kind of you can call it personality of a stock, you can call it whatever you want, but I believe that stocks who have run really, really, really hard in the past can run really hard again. Alf is a great example of when Alf starts running, you can just get on and go. Like, it likes to run, and Hood likes to run. It
A lot of
also
shorts in
had
Hood
this
too.
nice, yep, huge short percentage. It also had this nice sort of like touch here of this 993. So it was a nice reversal despite the news.
Look at your technicals, man. You really getting. You sound like me.
Hey, I mean, we're on like 120 hours of the podcast. You've never seen me look at a chart, so you didn't really know, but we are
you know,
on.
you know your shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks. It's a big compliment. All right,
Takes a lot of
well,
time.
those of you guys who are watching, I'm gonna turn this off unless anyone else has any questions for me. So if you have anything, type it in the chat,
We'll be
or
back
I'll
in
look at Twitter.
2.5 hours, right?
Yep,
Yeah, we messed up the time, so sorry. And
yep.
anyone that's watching live too, if you have questions, just DM me. I don't have anything going on. I'm gonna go order Mexican food because my fridge is broken. So
Ooh. All right. Well, don't eat too much and get tired.
No, it's okay. I have plenty of. I'll just play San Andreas on my Xbox until we start. So.
Cool. I'll see you at 8:30.